Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending November 9th, 2022. Let me tell you what drives me crazy. There's a list price, and the sellers want more. It's fine. Put a list price, put an offer date, and everybody knows. Okay, there's an offer date. The sellers expect more. Now, I'm not even talking about what's a realistic price or not. I'm not even going there. Just the fact that there's a price, and we all, if we don't see an offer date, we're thinking, okay, we're going to negotiate a price. Let's see what the value is. You put in an offer, your buyer's all excited. Hey, we got a chance of buying this house. You put the offer in. Oh, no. The sellers want more. I go, like, why the hell don't you put an offer date then? Or why don't you make your intentions known? It chaps my hide, the fact that listing agents can be so reckless to drive everybody crazy. Make your intentions known. Why not put the list price at $1? You know why? Because we'll know. There's no way a seller's going to take $1. They want more. Okay, so now we'll figure out what the market value is, and we'll put in an offer that makes sense for our buyer clients. But if a house is supposed to sell for 1.5 and you list it at 1,450 and there's no offer date, guess what? We're thinking 1,4, 1,375, 1,425. We're not thinking over list price. It drives everybody nuts. And another thing, why? Why is the offer date such a secret? Why is it only realtors that know there's an offer date? All the listings, in my opinion, should have the list price and then right under it another line, offer date. It should say anytime or there should be a date. So everybody knows. You know, I didn't plan on this being a rant. It just kind of, the more I think about it, the more it drives me insane the way some of these list prices are put out there. If you think this video can help somebody you know, well, maybe not the rant part of this video, but you know, the rest of it where I get into the actual numbers. If you think this video can help somebody you know, pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into things. I'm going to start off with not our usual programming, but I'll get to our usual programming in a minute. What I'm looking at here is a chart for all of Peel region. So not just Mississauga, Brampton, but all of Peel region, just for detached properties only. And the numbers, average sold price and sales, are broken down by month, not by week, so by month. And what I have highlighted in black is every October going back to October 2018. So October 2022 is here. 418 detached properties were sold for October 2018 across Peel region. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because let's compare going back, because comparing just to what happened last year, well, last year was a bit of a crazy year, and I know lots of people are also been commenting and saying, well, comparing to last year, you know, last year was extra special as far as volume, extra special as far as high prices. So let's go back and look at, is 418 kind of normal if we forget about last year? Well, let's see. Compared to last year, October 21, 816 detached properties were sold. Going to October 2020, 1,077 detached properties were sold. October 2019, 746. October 2018, 650. So going back 4 years, I mean, we could keep going back if we want, but over the previous 4 years, this October is showing us the lowest amount of sales of detached properties that we've had going back 4 years. Let's look at average sold price. 1,320,000 is the average sold price for detached properties across Peel region. If we kind of look at it from a peak point of view of 1,780,000 in a span of maybe about 9 months coming down to today, that's a 400, sorry, I can't say that without kind of thinking that's just crazy. $460,000 this year alone, the average sold price has come down. That's a lot of money. $460,000 is the difference between average sold price at the peak now, and that was only about 9 months ago. But let's go back. What's it going to take to, assuming our average sold price keeps dropping, what's it going to take to get to the year before that's average sold price? Well, going back to last year, we're already below last year's average sold price, and I'm just comparing October's going along. To get to last year's average sold price, our current average sold price of 1,320,000 actually has to go up by 8.7% to get to last year's average sold price. But let's go further. To reach October 2020's average sold price of 1,121,000, our current average sold price has to come down another 15.1%. Going back further, let's skip 2019 and go all the way to October 2018, where average sold price was 911,000. Our current average sold price of 1,320,000 has to come down a further 31% to get to October 2018 average sold price. Lots of people are commenting, what's it going to take? What do we got to do? Yeah, we expect to see 2018, 2019 average sold price. Some people even thinking further. Well, that would mean minimum to get to 2018, we need to see a further 31% drop in average sold price. Here's average sold price compared to a year ago, again broken down by month. For most of the year, average sold price was higher than last year's average sold price, but come August is the first time we dipped below, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. We are currently sitting at 8% lower than last year's average sold price. Months of inventory, if we go back to October 2021, months of inventory has been climbing since December, and it's been going up. It reached the peak, the highest point of 3.9 months of inventory in July, and has been coming down since then. We're now sitting at 2.8 months of inventory if we look at all of Peel region. Let's get into our regular programming. Mississauga, Brampton, Durham, these are average sold price. Let's start off with a close look at Mississauga. 37 detached properties were sold. 37 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price came way down from the previous week. It's now sitting at $1,340,000. When we look back for a year, $1,340,000 is the second lowest average sold price we've had over the span of the year. And I switched to this slide quickly. I should say our regular program. These are numbers broken down by week for the city of Mississauga for detached properties only. $1,340,000 is 11% lower than last year's average sold price for week ending November 9th. The median price of $1,300,000 is also 11% lower than last year's median price. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average. It's a lot easier to spot a trend with the 4-week moving average than just the straight weekly numbers, just because the weekly numbers have a lot of peaks and valleys. The 4-week moving average kind of smoothens that out a little bit, and it kind of looks like over the span of 2.5, 3 months, prices have stayed relatively stable for Mississauga detached properties. Year-to-date sales, however, Big difference. We have 38% fewer sales in Mississauga for detached properties this year versus last year, and 6% fewer listings. Months of inventory is sitting at 2.3 months of inventory, which is kind of one of the lower weeks as far as months of inventory that we've had over the span of the fall. Here's Brampton. 30 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price has been going up. It's now sitting at $1,262,000. Still, monstrous difference, huge difference between where we used to be at the peak to where we are now. $1,262,000 is 8% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price is 10% lower than last year's median price. Median price for Brampton detached properties is $1,175,000. Looking at the 4-week moving average, kind of looks like average sold price has been creeping up over the span of 2.5, 3 months. Year-to-date sales, huge difference in volume. We have 46% fewer sales of detached properties in Brampton this year versus last year. 11% fewer listings, and months of inventory, I mean, it's pretty steady since first week of October. It's been going up every week. It's now sitting at 3.3 months of inventory. You know, on those videos where I kind of explain months of inventory, it should be really simple. As months of inventory goes down, inventory gets tighter, there's a bit more competition, properties are selling quicker, which kind of pushes prices up. What's happening in Brampton is the opposite. Months of inventory is going up and prices are creeping up also. It's the opposite. Sometimes things don't go according to the way they're supposed to go. Here's Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. That's my sample for Durham. 28 detached properties were sold. None of those were at $2 million or more. It's been 3 weeks now since anything has sold over $2 million in Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. Average sold price now is sitting at $1,061,000, which is 10% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price is 7% lower than last year's median price. Median price is sitting at $1.1 million, which is higher than the average sold price. Looking at the 4-week moving average, well, Mississauga, the 4-week moving average kind of looks steady. For Brampton, looked like average prices were creeping up. For the Durham region, the 4-week moving average and the median 4-week moving average kind of looks like average sold prices are creeping down. Year-to-date sales, we have 33% fewer sales in the Durham region for detached properties this year versus last year. 2% fewer listings, and months of inventory has been just by millimeters creeping up. It's now sitting at 1.9 months of inventory. Here are condos. 31 condos were sold. Now this is across Peel region, so all Peel region. 31 condos were sold. None of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price is now $607,000. $607,000 is 1% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price of $599,000 is 8% higher than last year's median price. And year-to-date sales, we have 37% fewer condo sales this year versus last year. Listings, it's basically the same. I'm splitting hairs here. We have 0.3% fewer listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory for condos has been up there for quite a while now. We're sitting at 3.4 months of inventory for condos in Peel region. Here's a quick summary of all the months of inventory. Look, it's a very tricky market out there. We're dealing with attitudes, sellers' attitudes, buyers' attitudes. Sellers, a lot of them still remember where prices used to be. Buyers, all they're thinking about there's maybe some opportunities because prices are low, so they're just automatically discounting prices wherever we see. And then there's the reality of what's actually happening out there, which what I'm trying to show you here. And every property, although these are averages for the area, every property, every neighborhood is this kind of like it's its own universe, and it really needs to be analyzed property to decide what makes sense for a list price, what makes sense for a selling price, what makes sense to buy, what price should we be buying this at so we're not overpaying. Somebody on your team really needs to be looking at these numbers. Who you hire really does matter. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.